All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a best of 5 final deciding match of Group B. ZOUN in the bottom right for Vitality, Rogue in the top right, and Rogue is going to find his natural blocked, sadly. He was going for a 15 hatchery, now builds 2 more drones, seeing that he's blocked. He's going to have to go to this third base out of the top left. It is torches. You can hear the flames burning, I believe, on those torches. Little sound effects on this map. Just added in there. Very nice. There's also some Zerg rocks. It looks like blocking the entrance to that third base a little bit. But they will bleed out over time unless creep spread gets to them. Now, how come we can see ZOUN's shoulders and not Rogue's? I mean, guys, you just saw me edit. The live is what you're doing. Guys, you just saw me edit the man's face. Like, Rogue readjusted his camera between games so we could only see his neck. Count yourself lucky you can see their faces at all, guys. Nexus does go down here. Very standard opening, bit of probe harass happens. Only 2 workers on gas, so Rogue is not prioritizing crazy fast link speed, but we'll see how we do it. Third hatchery will have to go up on the natural. On this base, you've got these gold minerals. This is an El Dorado style map, guys. Kind of going with the golden wall style habitation station. Started the sort of, starting on the same sides as an actual good ladder map. Scrap Station, I guess you could say, was the first one that did it on the ladder. But yeah, it was Golden Wall. Kind of created this idea of let's cut off a side of the map with minerals, and in this case, these decaying creep rocks. Shared gold base in the middle there, shared gold base on the left as well. And I really wonder, because I think this is the sort of map where Rogue's the sort of guy might go Nidus Swarm Host. Try to pop a Nidus here, throw Locust into your main, pop one out on the left side down here, siege your third base. That's something he might go for. He tried to go Swarm Host from behind in their previous series, right? It didn't go well for him. But keep in mind, he kind of just died to Glaive Adepts. Like, he fell behind against Glaive Adepts 2 games, I would argue. 1 game, it was a little behind. 1 game, he basically died to the Glaive Adepts. And he's really just got to realize, well, let's be ready for it. And you know what, guys? Rogue's a gambler. He always has been a big gambler. He's never really played safe StarCraft, especially against Protoss. He always tries to get a read on what he thinks his opponent will do and then counter that without actually playing safe. Rogue's not really a safe player. He's a gambler. He plays it like poker, and he's one of the best at doing so. Oh, gonna take down both Zerglings. Well done. Drones try to fight here, but Rogue pulls back the wrong drone. Remember, this is the Korean server, no lag this time, but he does miss micro it a little bit, and the Adept gets a drone, gets 2 Zerglings, gets out, perfect start. Once again, Rogue's struggling with the opening stage. So I was going to say, I think Rogue's the kind of guy who's probably going to play really greedy against Glaive Adepts again. He already did it 2 games in a row against ZOUN. Why not try it again? What are the chances he's going to try Glaive Adepts again? Like, Rogue is the kind of guy who will call your bluff. He'll basically say, like, well, you wouldn't do the same thing 3 times in a row because you know that I should be ready for it if I'm a smart, intelligent player, but sometimes you can actually get ahead against Rogue just by gambling really, really hard. In this case, it's not the gambling, it's just basic early pressure is doing way too much damage. Another 3 drones go down, and Rogue's really got to fix his openings. And he's struggling so hard against the early Adepts. Luckily, he does take them both out, but I think 3 workers in total. It's a little tough. It's okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, he can definitely play out of this, but Oracle's also going to delay a little bit of creep spread. Doesn't find anything on the third. There's a Spore Crawler in the main. Take a bit of damage to kill a drone. Probably worth the trade. Nice wall off on the natural here to keep the Stalker alive. As the Oracle arrives, he can cancel that battery, get the Stalker back in the wall. The Oracle adds a little bit of insurance. Evo Chamber goes down. Rogue's really been enjoying the +1 melee build. I do think he's been a little predictable with how he's been doing it. But I think for him, he just hates playing against Blink Stalkers, and he wants to try to shift the game to a position where those mass Zerglings with melee can shut down the Blink Stalker Oracle that has been strangleholding so many Zergs in this matchup. +1 melee is on the way. We've got the third hatchery over there. 8 workers on the natural. It's going to be pretty good mineral focus, and the Roachborn does go down as well. So yeah, Rogue is going to play safe against Glaive Adepts, and hell, if he gambled, didn't play safe against it, he actually would have been correct, because it is a blink opening. I think you'd be very embarrassed, though, if you're not ready for Glaive Adepts 3 games in a row. At a certain point, a safety Roachborn really is not that big of an investment. Five Adepts shading forward. 3rd, 4th, and 5th gateways are going down, guys. Lings come in. Going to grab 1 probe. Might get a second. He's going to go for the shield battery. Oracle's coming on the 3rd base. They're going to grab 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, barely survives that Oracle. does survive with just 6 hit points. Stalker, Adept shield battery there will hold. He does recall some Adepts. Looks like the mass Ling surrounded them and killed one of them. Oh, dude, he's in the open right now. There are 2 Oracles coming home, but he's in the open with these Adepts. He did not want to give surface area to those Lings. That Adept is going to disappear. Actually, no. Refills the energy. The Oracles do scare these Lings away. Now, the one thing that makes you feel good here is ZOUN, is if he's built that many Lings, he can't have a really high drone count. Now, as we can see, the minerals is not bad, but it's the gas that's crazy delayed. 15 on minerals, 16 on minerals, 16 on minerals. So he's got 3 mineral lines mining now, but only now is he taking 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th gases. Means that transition's going to be mighty slow and not going to let up the aggression. Dude, accidental drone rally again. This keeps happening in Rogue's games. Accidentally rallies a drone. Happened on ley lines earlier in their previous series. That's how Rogue's been struggling in this matchup recently. We knew this was a tough group for him playing against Skillis and ZOUN. He managed to dispatch Skillis very well. But ZOUN is causing him problems right now. 55 to 58 workers. Ling's going to go for the counter. Oracle's tracking them so well. If he can energy recharge one of those Oracles, it's going to be excellent. But the Stalkers are going to get jumped on by this Ling flag. The Oracles are right there, though. And with the Blink Micro available, those Lings need to back off. Queen's going to try to fight it, but the Stalkers will be able to beat that. Oracles need to go back for more energy, though. The fact that ZOUN's staying on the front with the Oracles not there is kind of crazy. Just shows he is so confident in this game, and he feels like this Stalker timing could get it done. Oracles have gone back to refill on energy. He refills the Oracles. They're coming back to the front now, hoping to get back here before the Stasis Trap breaks. He's not there in time, though. The Stasis Trap breaks. Out come the Zerglings. The Oracles are there as well, though. Good blink back micro. Oracles trying to pull away from Queens. This Oracle very exposed, but it's doing very good damage. 10, 11, 12 kills on that Oracle. Make it 13. Stalkers blinking on top of the Queens. And if the Queens go down, Rogue will get taken out. ZOUN, he's just too good in the early game. Rogue needs to clean up his early game. He's got to get it much, much tighter. That's the big problem right now. He just can't get to the 6-minute mark on an even footing or anywhere even close. All right, guys, down to the bottom right side of the map, going for an early chrono boost. He's up a game here on Rogue, going on to Maganatha. And I do really want to see Rogue get through that early stage. Now, first things first, he's struggling with Glaive Adept, with basic Adept pressure, even before we get to the Glaive Adept concern. So I think what Rogue needs to realize is this map's really big. I don't think ZOUN's going to double chrono Adepts. So I don't think he has to deal with that problem this time. I think it's more just about, okay, let's just cleanly get through the Oracle Adept phase. And we've seen him do that really well sometimes, but it's just been those first 2 Adepts, if they get damage on the small and medium maps, I think that's where things sometimes snowball a little bit. All right, for the live gambling, apparently there was an issue. 2 people trying to do them at the same time. Try to organize in Twitch chat mods a little bit if you can. We've got no print and analysis stepping on each other's toes a little bit. I think one of them accidentally closed another one's gambling. It is what it is. They are imaginary channel points. It's fine. All right, guys, Probe's going to rotate around here. We've got the gateway there as well. Probe dancing back as well. Queens are building right now for Rogue. We're going to see Ling speed soon. Does come up. Chronoing an Adept still. So ZOUN might just be like, look, these Adepts are doing so well. Let's still... Obviously, it's if the second chrono boost goes down. That's the big tell of the double Adept aggression. Ling here trying to run away from these Zerglings. Do we see the second chrono, guys? And the answer is, doesn't look like it. Even keeps his first Adept at home. As I said, a rather big map. He doesn't want to risk losing, letting Zerglings into his base. And he also just realized there's low chance of doing damage. So Rogue here is going to have a bit of an easier early game. Queen into Overlord after 3rd hatchery. Textbook so far. He does go Creep Tumor instead of Inject on the natural, which I actually really like. I think getting that early creep out is massive. We'll live no prayer. It's fine. Sorry, guys. My mod's having a meltdown right now. He's like, I'm so sorry. They started another prediction. I ended it accidentally. Oh, my. It's like, it's all good, brother. It's imaginary. It's imaginary channel points. I mean, obviously, I appreciate that you care that much, but like if you didn't care, I'd be annoyed at you. But you care too much, so it's fine. It's more than fine. You guys are awesome. Thank you for volunteering. All right, guys. Oracle into Void Ray is here. We've got an extra Adept, second Gateway coming in as well. Oracle's going to try and go for the Creep Tumor. Does catch it just before it finishes. Could tag the Creep as well. Yeah, he's going to get... Does he have enough energy? Just enough. Nicely done. So ZOUN clearing some creep. Zergling gets a probe. Nice little catch there for Rogue before pulling away. Now, I'd like to see Rogue do something other than Evo Chamber this game. He's been real Evo-brained recently. I'd like to see him be just a little bit more diverse. Maybe just the Quick Lair Hydras. Because melee, it's great. I mean, it is a big part of his mid-game harassment, but... Roach Warren goes down. Whenever I see a Roach Warren, I'm always wondering if he's thinking about Nidus Swarm Host. This map doesn't seem great for it. You can go down here. You can go up here into the main or natural, I guess, but that's not terrible. Here comes Void Ray Adept. Fleet Beacon. ZOUN is going to go for a second Stargate, I would imagine, next up. Think about either a Mothership or an early Tempest, like a 3-base Tempest Rush, maybe. There's a delayed Spire that can do really well. Yep, second Stargate's on the way. It's going to be Tempests. All right, guys, Adept's coming forward. 2 Creep Tumors go down. Nice job clearing the creep, but Rogue not taking any direct damage. His Roach Warren's up. He's got pretty decent scouting. I do think he could be a little more active with these lings just to check what's going on. I think seeing a shield battery, no units at the third, is maybe a little sus. So it all comes down to what your opening is as Rogue. Oh, Rogue's taking a 4th. He's droning pretty hard. Oracle finally finds some kills. That's 2, 3 drones. A little slow on the pull away. 4 drones go down. The Oracle does take a fair bit of damage, but it's in a great position to come in and stasis trap these bases. Might just try to get out for now, though. Oh, he's going carriers! Now, ZOUN, carriers are not nearly as good as Tempest, in my opinion, in terms of their ability. Like, Tempest is just so reliable at just poking and prodding. But carriers can just force a weird, crazy position early. And they sometimes can just overwhelm, but it is straight Hydra Den with +1 range. So Rogue is just building a safety Roach Warren, not building any Roaches. He hates building Roaches. He's got a very old school mindset, which I think it's still a solid mindset, but basically... And now he starts Roach baiting Roaches. Okay, so he doesn't build Roaches to be safe against anything. I guess just confident in his scouting. But most people believe the Roach is a garbage unit, and you only want to build it if you want to attack early or if you need to defend an attack. Long term, it's not a great unit, which makes me wonder if Rogue's going to do his 70 drone Roach Hydra into delayed Hive. Second Evo Chamber? What is that for? Range Carapace is not usually considered a good build at all. He's playing against carriers and has no idea as well. But even if he wasn't, is he just going to go melee? With a Roach Hydra style, that doesn't make any sense. Rogue's playing something very odd this game. I'm waiting to see it eventualize. He's really trying to figure out what's happening and he can't. First 2 carriers are out waiting for 4 carriers. So ZOUN's going to play 4 carrier and then just play standard ground. It is indeed. It's a delayed Hive. It's Roach Hydra delayed Hive off 70 drones. This is the build Rogue played every game when he first came back recently, a few months back. He was doing this every game. It was working really well against the non-top Protoss players. Top couple of guys it didn't look great against. I think ZOUN fits into that top couple of guys at the moment. Carrier's coming out. Spire does drop reactively. He's got to build spores, I think. He does have it. Oh, I mean, he's already got Hydras, actually. I think he's fine. If you see Hydras, I think you're like, okay, we're just going to defend these carriers, try to get up to Storm, couple sentries warping in, cannons, batteries going down. It's a fake attack here for Rogue. He's going Hive, Spire, Burrow. It's not a real attack, but if he can keep ZOUN off a 4th base, take his own gases, looks like Rogue feels confident dragging this game out. Tunneling Claws and Carapace. What is this build? Rogue is right now, he's doing fun things, which I love that he's trying out cool stuff. Unfortunately, the Adept sees the Roaches hiding on the map, and he has no idea that he's standing right next to an Adept seeing everything. This is bizarre, guys. Really bizarre game right now. ZOUN taking a very slow 4th. Looks like he's moving out now. He's got Robo, Storm. He's got such a good quality army and a sick probe count, so I think he's pretty decently placed. Melee Carapace swap. I mean, you could just get ready for Ultras here, right? I think Ultras is perfectly fine. 5th base goes up north. Good creep spread for Rogue as well. 3-base Protoss is going to fall off in terms of the long-term income, which means you really have to be careful when you take your first fight as ZOUN. You're not going to have the same bank that Rogue will have. Rogue up in supply, but already having carriers out does make things uncomfortable. It's going to force the Corruptors. One mistake I think you could argue Rogue made last time in our series was not getting armor upgrades on his Corruptors. He's going attack, which I don't mind attack, but I think armor is very similar levels of value, especially against these carriers because they have 2 attacks. Each interceptor attacks twice, 2 times 5 damage at base unupgraded level. So if you can cancel out their attack upgrades, it's double effectiveness. All right, there's a cannon on the natural and a stasis trap, which means these Tunneling Claw Roaches are not going to be able to do too much. And look at that force field there. Carriers on top. Tries to focus a sentry down. Those Roaches get shut out. And a bizarre decision to commit to Tunneling Claw Roach in this game. It's cheap, but it is kind of just a little bit like, okay, we've got so many bad units right now as Rogue. And remember what I said about garbage units that aren't going to scale well to the long term. I think that's why he went Tunneling Claws, because he figured, hey, if I get in there, I can cause some problems, but he hasn't been able to, and now he's stuck a little bit. He's going to try and do a Roach drop in the main, create an opening there. There is a Void Ray and a cannon waiting for it, though. I mean, look at how safe he is. Cannon, battery, stasis trap, 4th base, finally coming up in the middle. ZOUN's getting the late game that he wants, and it feels like, I don't know, the double Evo chamber to me just felt like Rogue. He's not looking to make any decisive plays, and that's great if you are good enough to beat your opponent in late game, but ZOUN beat him in late game in the last series. We'll see if this better start in terms of economy works out. The problem for Rogue is how can he trade out his low-tier units? Roach drop comes in on the right side. Void Ray does not react. And ZOUN, he's got a cannon though, so I think with a few warp-ins he'll be fine. Well, he doesn't actually have any supply free either. Void Ray is not reacting. And the Roaches are going to do some damage. 4 Zealots though, trying to get on top. He's forgotten about his Void Ray. Big push on the front. Carrier, Archon, Zealot, Storm, guys. Here comes the Corruptor Viper. Parasitic Bomb goes in. The Corruptors are going to dive. They do take out one of the carriers. All the carriers look like they will go down to the Corruptors, but the ground army is rinsing the Roach Hydra. More Roach Hydras building, though. ZOUN's doing this kind of like a big old all-in. This is the old school 11-minute timing. I remember Rage Quit game from Rogue on Glittering Ashes to this game back in 2021. I remember it very distinctly. His Broodlord's getting wrecked by the Carrier Archon Zealot Storm timing, and he smashed his keyboard, didn't he? I remember his camera went askew, and it was kind of one of those moments that lives with you. I think he's getting flashbacks right now as ZOUN all over him. Then again, Roach Hydra should beat this army. I think these Archons need to run away. Right, he's standing and fighting. ZOUN's going to stand and fight. That's good for Rogue. It's really good for Rogue. Unfortunately, he's losing all of his drones on the left. 18 workers go down, and the base on the left side does kill most of the Archons. Still 2 left here as the Roach Hydra tries to defend, but ZOUN's traded so well. Look at that. 3,000 head in the units lost, and the Roach Hydra Corruptor just getting cleaned up. He cleans up the Zealots on the left, but at the same time on the right side, oh, he can't afford these drones losses, these hatchery losses. Corruptors will fly across the map, try to do a bit of the caustic spray harass, perhaps. Rogue just cannot keep up with ZOUN. GG, well played. ZOUN all over him, and Rogue there looking a little listless in that game. A little like he needed to have a bit more of a clear direction and how he was trying to win. All right, guys. We got Rogue down here. That scoreboard's the wrong way around. Let me fix that. Ugh. It's been a bad start to the series. There was a bit of a Hulk smash on that desk. And really frustrated. But I think it was a classic kind of tangling up in his own feet, I feel like, right? Where he's like, well, I'm kind of making... I've skipped Roaches, I'm going Hydras. Then he's like, wait, actually, I'm going to build some Roaches. Also, I'm going to go double Evo and a 4th. And it just felt like Rogue wasn't rushing Hive. He just couldn't tell what was going on, and I think he couldn't make a decision. Because he was so confused about what ZOUN was doing. And he ended up going, okay, you're going to do some sort of big surprise attack. I'm going to make a bunch of Roach Hydra. And then he didn't really have his own timing, especially not into carriers. And he was like, oh God, what can I do? And I felt like he needed to be a little more decisive there. And maybe going to like Lurker Viper Corruptor or something. Not really, an ideal spot going in late game, but I would have liked to see him maybe go Spire, maybe go for like just a Hydraling timing attack. I would have loved to see something a bit more decisive. I do feel like the most effective PvZ strategies in my mind are ones where you just surprise with a maxed out Roach timing or just a surprise Hydra Flood. I'm not saying that they're automatic game winners, and it kind of feels bad that you got to gamble on that a little bit, but I do think you got to put some fear in ZOUN. I think at this point you got to go hardcore gamble. You can't just play this safe as rogue. You got to commit really hard to something with some very sharp points and make them react to you and just be confident in that. Like, I think there's a superpower that Dark has had when he was the best in this matchup that he ever was, where he would just have a plan and do it. And it was like, okay, yeah, sometimes you get caught off guard or whatever, but he would never be caught going, oh God, I don't know what the Protoss isn't doing. I'm going to be overly reactive. He'd just, you know, confidently do his thing and then adapt once he figures out what they're doing. And usually because he's committing to his own aggression, he's safe against most things they can do. But felt like Rogue was a little more reactive in that Roach Hydra game. And now he finds himself on the back foot. ZOUN, chrono boosting 2 adepts across the map. Now, Rogue needs to split his lings between his third and his main base. Splitting those on different control groups usually helps you out a bit. But he's been a bit inconsistent, I should say, at doing that, and it feels like he's been clumping them. This time he is split really nicely against the first one. 2 lings try to run in, and they do distract the adept at least, but they don't achieve much. That adept can come and join the front. Meanwhile, adept in the main base takes out 2 zerglings. Shouldn't be able to get a drone if Rogue's quick with a spore, which he is. And the adept. Ooh, 2 hit points. Does he get out? The lings are hot on the trail. Ling speed 10 seconds away. I think he escapes. He can even throw a glaive if he wants to be greedy here. Yeah, he gets out. Nicely done. Really nicely done. Oh, he even recalls it. Oh, the adept survives. Very cute. Just really being efficient with those resources, and that adept can come down to reinforce the wall off. So ZOUN doesn't have a third base just yet. Of course, he's gone second gate, extra pylon. He's probably going to queue a second oracle as well before going for the third. So ultra safe play. And he can shade these adepts out to the third now as well. But Probe's going to need to go back. Otherwise, Rogue will find a freebie. Good pullback. Great pullback, some would say. Oracle flies in on the natural. 2 queens. Rotron gets cancelled. It looks like, I think he got scouted. I think he wanted to do a queen walk. But he decided, well, that's not going to work if it's being scouted, so he cancels the Rotron. Rogue's going to go back to macro. I think he wanted to do a queen walk this game. It's not the greatest map for it, but I guess he felt like he could go around this right path and just get up there reasonably quick. Ugh, it doesn't feel like a great one, but you can see his creep's good. He's, of course, given up on that by cancelling the Rotron. Stalker goes after the Overlord. We've got Forge. Blink coming in as well. Will there be a 3rd and 4th gateway next? Most likely some gases. And then the 3rd and 4th gas. ZOUN loves that fast blink, dude. He always gets his blink up at such a good timing. I see a lot of Protoss players focus on kind of being a bit greedy, a bit more economic with the minerals and the gas. And then they just kind of have that moment where their Stalkers all get surrounded by surprise Zerglings 10, 20 seconds before blink finishes, and you lose 5 or 6 Stalkers. Really ruins your momentum. That never happens to ZOUN. And guys, Rogue does want to still do a queen push, but he's going to do the German taxi instead. He's got Overlord speed on the way. He needs a lair, though, to make Dropper Lords. He's just hit 100 gas. He's got to start that lair. That's actually more important than the Overlord speed upgrade. Oracles fly away. Adepts take out 4 drones. I don't think that's too bad there. The lair is a little bit late, though, for Rogue. He's being kept busy. It does feel like this is going to hit pretty slow. I'm never the biggest fan of the German taxi. I mean, I do see players who've practiced it a ton do it really well. I just think it's very hard to execute. Overlord speed has been finished now. If he sees your Overlord speed, it kind of gives away what you're doing, so you got to be careful with revealing that. Shows an evolution chamber there on the natural, which really does give off the impression of wanting to play a longer game. He's also going to move out to take a 4th base. This is all to sell a story. Meanwhile, he's still droning. Oh, he doesn't even... No, he's not... I don't think he's even going to commit to the German taxi anymore. This feels like Rogue's going this way, then that way. He's trying to be devious, but I don't know if he's focusing enough on optimization. Sometimes it's not about surprise. Sometimes it is just about straight optimization. Why is it called the German taxi? Well, once you've seen a bunch of StarCraft players drunk at Home Story Cup getting a taxi to the kebab joint, you'd understand, man. Just saying, those queens get rowdy, and they will mess your shiz up if you don't watch out. No, you need to ask the boys. I can't remember. Did Lambo invented it, maybe? I can't even remember the beginnings of why we call it the German taxi. It's been so many years. Cancels at the last second, does Rogue. Ling's going to look for a surround, but the blink away is good. German taxi, of course, is getting an Overlord morphed. 1 or 2, loading queens in and bringing it with a mass Roach Ravager attack. Roach Ravager Zergling. 4th base building on the bottom right now as well. ZOUN feels like he's all over it. He's going Storm and Charge. He's only got 11 Stalkers, though. I think you actually want mass Stalkers against this. The German taxi Overlord is now loading, but he's actually droning. Rogue is... Yeah, it feels like Rogue is so unconfident in his attacks. He's not committing to anything. He's going to try and play a longer game. That has not gone well for him in this series, but he keeps feeling forced to do it. Oh, it's tough. Rogue wants to play the strategy game right now, but he's in 2025 StarCraft 2, and as much as we love the strategy game, there is a base requirement of mechanical speed and dancing in these early builds and mid-game, and I do feel like ZOUN's playing that game very well. Rogue is now going to Hive, but this was not plan A. This is plan B. His Hive starting at 7.5 minutes. We've seen players finish Hives at that time. I'm not saying he needed to, but I do think he's at least 30 to 45 seconds behind on his tech from where he needs to be to keep pace. He's about to lose his 4th base again if he's not careful. Roaches, not the ideal unit to be fighting Blink Stalkers with as well. Rogue is really on the back foot in this game. ZOUN is all over him right now. Stalkers are blinking back. The stasis traps keeping him at bay as well. Those oracles still have decent energy. And behind this, Storm is kicking in. Immortal production has started. I would love to see a second Robo for ZOUN. His 4th base is almost up. +2's on the way. Hive, Lurker Den, Hydras, and another 7 drones for Rogue. But Rogue is being forced to play late game, and I think he's one of the cleverest late game players. But man, these Protoss players in their late game are on another level right now. Look at that. There's a Zergling in a test tube. What is going on there? Oh, this map, they want to experiment on Rogue, man. Seeing how far they can push a man. Overseer scouting around. It's hard to do anything but go to late game when you have bad early games, and I mean, I always feel like a broken record, but Rogue's been struggling in the early game Zerg versus Protoss, and I don't want to be, you know, overly critical, but I feel like right now the big roadblock in his career is early game Zerg versus Protoss, and I think basically, I don't know, what do you do in that situation? I mean, I guess you study Cyril's openings, but it's going to take weeks of customs and practice to get your opening to that level, but I think that needs to be his training focus. Because I think the old knowledge and the old details aren't good enough in the modern meta. I think you need to upgrade like so many of your little timing knowledge in the early game, and just all the little basics to keep pace. And I don't think this double, triple Evo hodgepodge army necessarily does it. I would love to see a Viper or 2. I think a Viper or 2 could be nice, but High Templar already out. It's not a huge priority for him. Gonna try and just go. Clicks on the stasis trap. Nicely done. Storm tickling a Lurker. Doesn't care about that. As long as he sets off this other stasis with the Zerglings, he could run left, but he's actually... He fakes left just by hanging out. ZOUN thinks he's going left. In fact, he's going up the guts. Starts taking those rocks down. Does bait another Storm out, but there's plenty more where that came from. Zealots on the left. Spinecrawler in a great position behind the mineral line. Ling, Hydra, the rally. The whole army comes back, in fact. Rogue just leaving a few roaches to guard his Lurkers up front. He's got an Overseer in Pervert mode, but the Tempests are about to arrive. Rogue is very committed to this push. With Tempest Storm, I don't think he can get up here any further. There's no way he gets in range of the base. He's got a Spire and Ultra Covered on the way. He can play a long game. Remember, his late game multi-prong looked great. I like that he's applying pressure to ZOUN. Spines behind the mineral line are going to hold on. Those Zealots will get dealt with. Lurkers picking off a Stalker or 2, picking off a Zealot or 2, but this is the moment where he feels his heart sink. Watch his camera. Seeing those Tempests, you have to just unsiege and go home. You cannot stay here. And Rogue, he's going to try to reposition. Can't be stubborn. He cannot be stubborn in this situation. Those Tempests are going to just slowly chip away. And I think this is the right decision. Yeah. Okay, not tilting, not tilting. Oh! Okay, this is getting frustrating. These Zealots are running around. ZOUN's just throwing the cheap units at him on the edges. And I think Rogue needs to split his army now. But the army on the front's chasing him back. That creates a lot of issues in of itself. Stalker's blinking and getting a Lurker. Another one almost goes down. Zealots on the right side. Spinecrawler's behind the mineral line. Doing pretty well. Rogue's trying to double down on those. He's on 5 bases. He's got the Corruptors coming in. +1 air weapons have started. He's got 2-1 range carapace. Going for +1 melee, +2 carapace as well. Kindness plating has not been made. I'd love to see those ultra upgrades. I do think a hot swap into those could be nice. There's only 2 immortals on the field, but ZOUN is so responsible, dude. We have seen so many players just disrespect the ultras and throw the game because of it. ZOUN always goes double robo and builds enough immortals to deal with the ultras. Tempest caught out a little bit. Storms don't really land there, but they at least scare the Corruptors back. Mass Roach counterattack, but look at the cannon count. Cannons plus batteries and warpins should be able to deal with that. Storms on the Lurkers. My golly! The Lurkers trying to burrow on top. Oh no! Terrible move for Rogue! ZOUN just stands his ground and Chad modes it. He says, you think you can scare me away, mate? You've got 90 workers. You've got 50 supply in roaches. You've got 3 lurkers you left behind and half your army's corruptors. There was almost no ground fighting units there for Rogue, and that was a disastrous engagement for the Zerg. I didn't realize we were making mince patties today, guys. Much like Pound Town, ZOUN Town is heavily populated with dead Zerg right now. It's gonna be some Zerg burgers for dinner tonight by the looks of it. Rogue needs to pull off a truly monumental comeback in this series. If he can win this game, turn it around, win 3 games in a row, this will be just like absolutely shocking. This is the position Protoss wants to be in. This is the position ZOUN wants to be in. ZOUN was one of the guys who, back in 2020, he was one of the few guys who controlled this army like one of the best in the world. Maybe 2021. Oh, Corruptor's coming out. But good dancing, good covering. No way can this base defend itself. Roaches still roaming, looking for anything. Roaches are a very supply and efficient unit. Rogue kind of wants to get rid of them, but he doesn't want to throw them away for free. He might have to. There's, oh, can I get an Immortal? Well, he gets a High Templar. 1 High Templar damages an Immortal for about 14 Roaches, guys. I'm not going to do the maths on that, but it's not good. How did ZOUN fail to qualify for GSL? Raynor got him, I believe. Those qualifiers are pretty complicated, though, so I'm not quite sure I followed the different stages. For some reason, people who qualified in round 1 also had to play stage 2? I don't know exactly. I need to go double-check those brackets. High Templar, Tempest Archon, trying to run north here. The Ling Hydra's hiding up the top. Rogue, he's trying to dispose of his units efficiently. Once again, 5 Hydras, 20 Zerglings for a single Archon, guys. I mean, right now, we are looking at ridiculous. This is basically Black Hawk Down. Like, you know, it's like, hey, let's send 5,000 people because that helicopter crashed, and if we get one of them, it's worth it. You're like, I don't know, man. I don't know if that is worth it. It's lost time getting really nasty, but, like, also, what can you do? This is a situation where you're in a really hard situation. Because over there, nice snipe. I mean, Ultras, he's going to go for the Ultras because they give you mobility, and I don't think there's many Immortals. I think this is the right call. 3 Immortals. Still got a bunch of Archons in front, though. 3 Immortal, 3 Archons. Hard to get on top of. Lurkers are trying to secure the left. The problem right now for Zerg is he's got to have 20 Corruptors to deal with the Tempest Mothership. Problem, that's 40 supply of Garbo. He wants to keep a high worker count so he can trade evenly. Oh, no, the Lurkers without even an Overseer. Oh, the Observer's a little far back there for ZOUN. But most of those units go down, and a snap recall. He doesn't even lose a Tempest. Well, he does. He leaves that one behind. 1 High Templar will fall as well. The Ultras reveal themselves, and the Corruptors. The Corruptors are going to dive! Rogue's lost patience. He wants to just go right now. He's like, look, it's now or never. I got to get something done. You're low on Storm Energy. He does take out Mama. Ultras on that left side doing okay. The Lurkers are doing something there as well. Is there no detection? No. An Observer comes in. Another Observer comes in. The Lurkers do go down. Stalker's blinking forward to save the base. Corruptor's trying to run away. And it does feel like Rogue there. He hopes to catch him out of position. Hopes to catch him off guard. But as we've seen, it's a game of trying to catch the Protoss out. And the Protoss, the moment the Zerg shows they want to fight, Protoss shoots, pulls back, Storms, pulls back, shoots, pulls back. And it feels like the Zerg is constantly looking for a surround that a player of ZOUN's caliber would never give him. ZOUN is just way too smart, way too good. He's excelling in the early game, and he's getting himself ahead every game. And he's also just showing, I think, that he is much better set up with his pieces, with his strategy, with his unit usage in the late game. Picking away at his opponent with the Tempest, using the ground army. Very well mixed army. Fortunately, he doesn't have detection right now, so that Lurker is going to kill a few of these Immortals. Take out one, second one. Barrier comes up, saves it. Archon goes down. The Ultra's trying to chase. Chasing into a good stutter step, though. Gets himself another Immortal. The Ultra's thinking about still engaging. There's only one Immortal. I think they can fight this. Transfuser's looking really good. Those Queens with the Band-Aids finding damage. ZOUN's gas bank is very low. He's got a ton of minerals, but Zealots aren't going to be very good against this. Oh, I would have liked to see him just close in on that last one. Ultras are nearby. They don't know about this Nexus to the left. He's going to back away for now. He's waiting for the Lurkers to join forces with this. 3 Corruptors there. Rogue knows he needs at least a base snipe, but he's out of bank himself. And ZOUN's army still looks rather fearsome. Carriers are coming in now. Not a big fan of the carriers personally. I think the Tempests are much better, but they will still just add an extra problem to deal with. Ultras coming in. Storm's trying to defend. They do clear the Zerglings. Damage the Ultras. The Observer does get taken out. He storms his own probes trying to get the Corruptors. And that does remove all the anti-air, which means the carriers will eventually clean everything up. Ultras on the right side, one goes down. I mean, the Ultras are running in. They don't attack up. Oh, this is such a problem. There are still lurkers, but the Revelation takes those out. 26 workers go down. Was that enough? Was that worth it? I mean, it depends on where his income's at. Right now, income's looking good. This base is exposed. This base is exposed. I mean, if you can get Lings in the top left, and then Lings on the right, he's just going to go for a Ling drop by the looks of it. He finds a Nexus. This is +2 Adrenal Gland Zerg. He's going to have 3/3 soon as well. Dude, if Rogue brings this back, I will dump him. Rogue, Lord of the Zerg, Slayer of the Protoss, man who comes back when he is basically dead. He's been deep in the dumps for a while. ZOUN wants that second spot through the group stage. Clem may have stomped him, but dude, ZOUN is showing that he really belongs, and there's a reason he took down so many good players in last PigFest as well. Oh, another hatchery kill. And that top left base is so dangerous, but he's just keeping Rogue so busy, and Rogue just doesn't know about it. That's actually such a bummer for Rogue, because he's way ahead on mining, even as is. Imagine if he had some Lings or even a single Ultra up there. Huge disaster for ZOUN. And ZOUN, not a big believer in the Dark Shrine. Comes forward, takes out a Corruptor. Takes out 2 Corruptors and blinks back. He's like, hey, mate, we get teleporters. Not something that Zerg players like. Just think about it, guys. As a Zerg, you want to teleport, you're going to climb inside a giant worm's intestinal tract. It's not a pleasant experience. Stalker, Archon, Carrier. Attacking this right side, picking off Spine. Zealots in the natural because Rogue doesn't want to give up this base. He wants to engage here, but he has to catch the perfect fight with no spellcasters except one Viper. Oh, 1 0 energy Viper. The Corruptors eat a Storm as well. Zerglings clean up a few of these Zealots. 10 drones already went down, though, before that happened. Another Zealot is in there as well. Oh, transfuse. Pretty good transfuses, but remember, it's not as good as it once was. These Ultras trying to hang out right now. Trying to hang on to this bottom right side. Ling run by is nice. Oh, dude, Rogue, if he goes and checks the top left, it'll be so good, but he's under so much pressure. He's on mass Ultra. 10 Ultras. There's 8 Immortals. Oh, this is a... He needs to give up this base and counterattack. He cannot fight this army head on. Rogue's gonna fight this army head on. He's got a Blinding Cloud. Where is it? But he doesn't land the Blinding Cloud. Oh, man, if he landed Fungal Blinding Cloud, maybe. The Ultras weren't started stepping, though. The Immortals, sorry, weren't started stepping. Oh my gosh, he actually is killing a lot of this army. I can't believe, I thought this was going to be super one-sided. He kills the whole air army and most of the ground army. Honestly, it's better than I thought it would be. Fighting into 8 Immortals without Blinding Cloud is absolute insanity. It is launching into your opponent's machine gun fire, sprinting at them with a sword in hand. It's very, very Bonsai Charge-esque. And indeed, Rogue does charge. And it's not the most effective maneuver. It was surprisingly close. He had so many 3/3/3 Ultras, but ZOUN's just been mauling him from the start of this series. Rogue has not been able to get his feet underneath him. And I think ZOUN is showing he is back at the top right now. He is so, so powerful. Chat's typing desk in all caps. I don't think you guys are going to get it. I don't think Rogue feels unhappy enough to give you guys another death smash. Obviously, it was a bit emotional before, but I think at this point, he's probably spent past that point. Alright, Hatchery's going to take some damage. Should Ling a few Hydras and Corruptors in the mix. You know, when Hydras get built in the late game, you're kind of at wit's end. You're like, oh, I don't know what's going to work here. Let's just build a mixed utility unit, perhaps. Ling Ultra Hydra coming forward, tries to trap the Stalkers. Oh, look at that full energy High Templar. You do not want to dance with that big boy. 195 energy and a whole lot of nasty bath time. Dude, he's got more bath energy than Amaranth. That High Templar is ready to take these Ultras and Lings to Simp Town. Stalkers blink forward. Ultralisk does go down. Good spread either way. ZOUN just keeps trying to bait him in. And this is expert Protoss play. It's I set up an annoying position. I don't let you surround me. I bait you into chasing into my army so that you get maximum clumped. I get maximum spread out. And it's going to be nasty. The hatchery in the top left side going to take a lot of damage as well. The Immortal Stalker moving forward. Ooh, big Ling run by. Kind of going to wreck ZOUN's economy. Unfortunately, ZOUN already has 140 army supply, guys. 140 army supply is not going to be answered. And there we go. You can see Rogue tapping out. Bit spent at that point. This did not go well for Rogue in the early games. And you could tell he had plans, but I really feel it all comes back to that 4-minute mark in this game. And this is like, I said, you got to be decisive. You got to commit to something. I think Rogue had exactly the same idea. And look at this, guys. This moment in this game was nasty. So you can see here, he's like, yep, we're going to do a queen walk. Let's throw the Roach Warren down. Oracle flies in, sees it. And he's like, duh. Well, now I can't do it. Honestly, I almost feel like he should have just committed there. You're such a mind game player. He might not have even noticed it, ZOUN. Yeah, he actually didn't see the Roach Warren. He didn't even see the Roach Warren. Oh, Rogue kind of mind gamed himself there, thinking the Oracle came deep enough to see it. Oh, that's rough. Oh, that's even more tragic. Oh, well, it is what it is. GG, well played. ZOUN hammers it home. 3-0.